KUSF 90.3, music by the Bay.
I think that community radio or college radio, however you choose to term it, independent radio defined cities and sounds and distinguished cities from one another. And again, once you lose that, it all just becomes one big homogeneous piece of dreck. I don't know any other way of putting it. I mean, we've lost our airwaves, and we can't really afford to lose anymore.
The importance of public access and community radio cannot be exaggerated.
No.
I mean, it's the voice of the people. I mean, the commercial radio stations aren't going to give local bands a chance. They're not going to do public service announcements. They're not going to give away tickets. They're not going to give interviews to local people. They're not going to help us in any way. And neither is the station that took over 90.3 FM, because it's not local. It's from Southern California.
There'll be no language,
nothing to do with us.
No language or ethnic shows.
That's right.
We had 13.
That's right. We had shows in we were the only radio station who had a show in Cantonese, 2 shows in Chinese. We had Armenian.
What about Radio Goth, the German show? That was
Listen,
cool.
if you want to keep the voice in your own community, then you need to save that voice.
Yeah.
And right now, this voice is trying very vigorously to be taken away from us. So I say, if you're all for keeping the voice of the people, especially the voice of your own community, or the voice of an individual as opposed to some blank corporate mush, then please help save KUSF. You'll be saving yourself.
Indeed, it's true. And go to savekusf.org, and there's lots more information, but this is a very important issue for the city today.
This is the biggest small city there is in the world. This city's only 7 by 7, but we're in the same sentence as LA, New York, Chicago, Paris, London. San Francisco's right there. And to take such a diverse piece of art away from the city is a travesty. Criminal. It is criminal.
And we were a great ticket giveaway for all the wonderful bars pushing all the local musicians down here. I mean, man, we were giving tickets for Yoshi's, Fillmore, what was that place down here? The Hemlock Tavern, the Elbow Room, Parkside. You know, it was really beautiful. And there was a lot of listeners calling up to win. You know what I mean, brother?
The Disability Rights Show on Sunday afternoon, that really helped me in my own work, because some of my work is helping people with disabilities asserting their rights. And I've never heard a show that thorough and in-depth and hard-hitting. A corporate radio station, if they had a show like that, they would be bringing on a researcher, an executive director. And so would mainstream radio, something filtered through the voices of somebody running an organization or getting published to be a researcher. But this show had people with disabilities coming on, talking about problems that people were encountering that needed to be solved by activism, also talking about rights and laws that are out there, which are not part of the public knowledge. And I'd go back into my work and tell people what was going on, and of course done by people with disabilities, not by the executive director who serves them. So the whole thing was great. I thought this one was going to be the last one remaining on there, and the way it was done, so quick and so sleazy, just leaves me personally with a void. Where am I going to turn to interact, and what am I going to listen to?
This is sort of an assault on the artistic community in San Francisco, is that it's killing a major voice in terms of providing a wide variety of influences on people as musical artists, being a musician myself. I know that when I listen to something like Le Mystère de Bois Bagarre or something, I'm listening to music that I don't hear a lot of in the San Francisco Bay Area on other radio stations. And I've seen over the years San Francisco Bay Area go from having a wide variety of different types of radio stations to an ever narrowing variety of radio stations that are all playing pretty much the same thing. And that is very, very troubling, because I think that to become an individual means to make choices, but if you aren't given options, then you can't really make choices. You cease to be an individual. It's a real assault on you as a person. And I think that that's one of the major losses that will happen, is people will just become homogenized. And it's because all of these different voices are being stifled.
Why is community radio so important? Community radio is so important because it's real. It represents the community. And in this day and age of media, there are very few things that actually do that, or do that successfully, at least for free. I think, there's groups and a lot of stuff you can find on the internet, and of course we've mentioned this recently a lot in the past month since the closure, that the internet, that's not free, is it? Community radio is important because it helps amplify the interests and the needs of the community, and it's a very valuable thing. And I think there are a lot of communities that don't have, community radio, and that's why it was cool that we could sort of spread the word in a greater sense.
We want to urge everybody again to support KUSF, get out there. You can't put this off until next month. Your action needs to be done
Right now.
18 days.
So please do what you can, even if all you can do is make a few phone calls or write a letter. Anything at all. Just, we need your help and support. If all you can do is donate money, go to savekusf.org, donate a little bit of money. It's all going to lawyers to help prevent this.
Bombard the FCC,
So, thank you.
the right
Indeed,
way.
and also on one last note is that I feel sorry for the students who are enrolling in the online program, because as everyone well knows, anyone can stream music online from their computer that has a microphone and a little mixing board. Anyone. No one is going to pay those students to do that.
$50,000 tuition to learn.
The emperor wears no clothes. It's not a real radio station. They're not getting real training. They're not going to get a job from being trained to stream music from their computer. It's very sad for them, if they think they're getting a career in broadcasting, and it's false.
I'd done radio in other cities before, but it was the first place where it felt like real, because it felt like you knew that everybody listening was listening with like really open and critical ears, and you would get feedback like immediately. Like, you'd do your show and then you'd be on the street and you'd see somebody with an amoeba bag and they wanted to talk to you about what you just played on your show, and then they would turn you on to like some amazing record you never heard before. And so it was like this really direct impact of what it means to be in a community, because you were forming relationships with your listeners and they were teaching you and you were teaching them, and you both were sort of growing from that. And to me, that's like what it means to be in a community, and that's why I wanted to live in San Francisco in the first place, because it always, from different places where I lived, I'd always looked at it as this example of a city in this country that valued the idea of community and valued that people from different backgrounds can share a same physical space and then share what they know with each other to all become like bigger and better people.
Save KUSF.org. Do that and donate, and tell all Brother Bruno musician friends it's the greatest station by the Bay, Bay, Bay. KUSF 90.3 music by the Bay, Bay, Bay.